Hello everyone, my name is Holden Hardman. Thank you so much for joining us again for another video. Today is a highly requested video where my friend Matt watches Logan for the very first time. We should be wrapping up our X-Men stuff. We might jump into Deadpool a little bit after. That's been highly requested as well. I love this movie. This is considered among fans to have been a hit. X-Men has struggled on their journey with some of the Wolverine movies. The X-Men movies have been kind of hit or miss. We've touched on a lot of those. Logan is considered a big hit by everybody. I know we don't want to hype it up too much. I honestly don't know how you're going to feel about it. I think that you'll like it. I also know you, and I know I've been let down before. I love you.
That's what I'm here for, Holds.
We got the whole crew here today, including Jen from My Girlfriend Watches. Glad you could be here as well. Going into it, Pastor, you're already reading the Old Man Logan comic in preparation. What do you think going into it?
Hey there, Pastor from Thematic Videos. Right, Matt?
That's right, buddy.
That's how you do it.
Good plug.
This is what this movie is based off of the source material. It's my favorite graphic novel of all time. I'm not gonna hype it up. I love this movie. I really hope Matt likes this movie, because if he doesn't, I might cry. You might see me cry on camera. This is definitely the best Wolverine movie that has happened. I don't think any of them have come close to this one, so I'm really excited without giving anything away.
No build up at all.
No build up at all.
Got it. Moving on, Jeremy!
It's gonna suck. No, I'm actually really excited about watching this movie. I find that the stronger the audience outcry is, the more we hype it up, the more everybody gets behind it and it's like, Matt has to like this movie, the less that Matt ends up liking the movie. And I've done this before. I'm just gonna say, Matt, you're gonna think this movie stinks. I'm actually a pretty big fan of it. I'd say it's the best of the three. So take from that what you will. I would say it's also the best of the 17 X-Men reboots. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
My sentiments exactly.
Jen has not seen all the X-Men movies. When we watched the Wolverine, it was spoiled for her that Logan killed Jean in the original 3 X-Men continuity, but then
He didn't kill her, he set her free.
By killing her. There's a lot of weird continuities in this, so I didn't even know that this was following the continuity of the first 3 X-Men from the Wolverine. I don't know the continuity of Logan. I don't know if it follows the Days of Future Past storyline. Jeremy would know, but I don't know where he is.
Yes.
Okay. Jen, since you have not seen the other X-Men movies and watching the Wolverine last time, what are you thinking going into Logan?
I'm excited to see it because whether or not I liked the previous movies I've seen so far, I've always liked the character of Wolverine. So I'm excited to see it. I've seen a lot of people talk about it and say it's good, so we'll see.
And Jenna, going into it, you're probably most familiar with the comments that we've gotten about Logan and the hype that has been building up for the past several weeks. How are you feeling going into it?
I've been waiting for 17 movies to get to this movie specifically. It better live up to the hype.
And of course, Matt, how are you feeling going into it?
I had no idea. I don't know anymore. We'll see. I'll bet he looks fantastic, and that's all that matters.
All right, let's get into it. Logan.
This is the lease. No one's gonna pay to ride. You don't want to do this. Take them out.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Oh,
God. Hey, Clyde. It's 2029. Why are we still talking about mutants? As I live and breathe, the Wolverine. I'm not looking for you, Wolvie. Well, not really. I'm looking for someone who's looking for you. I'm a fan, by the way.
Who are you?
You know who I am.
You're the man who puts me to sleep.
Come on, man.
What are these?
You remember what they are? The shots? No, the seizures. The pills keep them from happening. How about you blowing them to make him safe?
Fuck off, Logan.
So you remember?
Was it the language that made it rated R?
It's just they're just not holding back on the violence or anything.
Got it, so things have been going well.
Found this in your pocket. Adamantium. Something's happening to you, Logan. On the inside, you're sick. I can smell it.
Mr. Logan.
Jesus.
Please, we need a ride.
Not available. Call a cab.
There are men after us. We need to get out of here.
It's $20,000. Here, take us to this address. You
You can have 30,000 more when we get there. He wants to kill me and take her.
Charles, listen, I gotta go away for a few days, okay? I got a long ride for some good money, but when I get back, we're gonna get out of here.
How well was this film received?
Very well.
Incredibly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Who does this belong to?
I need the girl.
What girl?
One that goes along with that ball you're holding.
You knocked him off from that.
Logan! This is Laura. We've been waiting for you.
It's about to go down.
Jesus.
Laura. No. No.
Okay. Mini Wolverine. Okay.
Who are you?
You know who she is, Logan. Does she remind you of anybody?
My name is Gabriela Lopez, and for 10 years I worked for Transigen Research. These children were born in Transigen. They were born here and have never left. These are babies of mutantes muertos.
What is she? She's your daughter, Logan.
Oh!
Hey, where's your mommy and daddy, huh? These two.
Not okay.
She's not my child, but I love her. You may not love her, but she is your child.
No, stop. Not a toy. No. Sorry. Chair.
I first saw this picture at the Isoldo Cinema in my hometown when I was your age.
The comic that on the other side, I actually have that one.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, that surprises me none, bro.
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan. You do know they're all bullshit, right? I mean, maybe a quarter of it happened, and not like this. 2 more pills in 1 hour.
Oh my god, y'all remember Ices?
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
Y'all remember going out in public?
Jesus. I want to see it.
We should help them.
No, we have to keep going. Someone will come along.
Someone has to come along.
Well, can we show our appreciation, treat the 3 of you to a decent meal? We don't live far from here.
No.
That
thanks.
would be lovely.
You're speaking to a man who ran a school for a lot of years, right, Charles? Really?
Kind of special needs school.
Yeah, that's a good description.
He was there too.
Oh, yeah, no, I got kicked out a few times.
I wish I could say you were a good pupil, but the words would choke me.
Cool to see that reprieve.
You know, Logan, this is what life looks like.
I got rights to this one.
1.
I have a lawyer now.
2. 3.
This was, without a doubt, the most perfect night I've had in a very long time. Logan. He's fantastic. The sun seeker.
Beware the light.
Got water?
I know that you're different, but that doesn't change the fact that something inside you is poisoning you. You've got to check yourself into a hospital.
I don't know how you got me here, but, thank you.
De nada.
Yeah. You can talk. The fuck? What's all this bullshit been for the last 2,000 fucking miles? Hey, shut the fuck up!
You are dying. You want to die. Charles told me.
What else did he tell you?
Do not let you. ¿Qué es esto?
You know what it is. It's made out of adamantium. Probably what's killing me now. Actually, I was thinking of shooting myself with it.
How long have I been in that bed?
2 days. Everyone had till today to find their way here.
If you keep waiting, Alkali will find you and they'll kill you all. You need to get out.
We're leaving tomorrow before dawn.
Hey, I got you here. That's all I signed up for. Even get back the money.
Bad shit happens to people I care about.
Then I'll be fine.
Yeah, human growth hormone!
Showtime, boy!
Don't be what they made you. Oh, so this is what it feels like.
Daddy. Right or wrong, it's a brand. A brand that sticks.
Wolverine toy.
Let's go.
Right or Wrong is a brand that you can't take back. That sticks.
Just finished watching Logan, the finale of our unofficial Wolverine trilogy. Really loved it. Great movie. I want to get Jenna's thoughts first, if that's okay. What did you think?
This was so much better than the other two in our Wolverine trilogy that we made up. The storyline was very linear. Like, I couldn't guess what was going to happen next, but it made sense. Like, each scene made sense compared to the previous one, which was not the case on the Wolverine that we watched the last movie. Teared up at the end. I think most of the rest of us teared up at the end. I think that was the best scene in the movie when she took the cross and turned it to an X. Ooh, that was good. Like, I still, like, teared up again just saying it. I hope this is the end of the X-Men movies, or at least, well, no, for Logan, because that was a really good ending to his story. And I think it would be, I don't think it is either, unfortunately, but it would be a really good round out to his story and just to end it, leave it alone, let it be done. But yeah, I really liked it. I'm kind of surprised, actually.
Jeremy, seeing it again, you got a little moved at the end as well. What did you think?
We got tears from Jeremy. We got tears from Jeremy. It's the first time I've ever seen it. I love it.
It's so good. It really is good. I want to take a second to address my own criticism about the movie, and this is something that I thought about. Sabretooth is Wolverine's arch nemesis. It's always been the way that it is. He's the Lex Luthor to Clark Kent Superman, right? I felt like this would have been a really good opportunity to use Sabretooth instead of X-24. That said, I think the kind of cool thematic thing about using X-24 is it shows Wolverine's conflict with his past. He's literally fighting himself. He's fighting his rage. He's fighting his pain. All of those things that defined him and all of the kind of worst parts of himself. He's stripping that away as the movie goes along, you know, and having to kind of peel back these layers of making peace with the conflict and the people that he'd hurt along the way. I mean, from villains to Jean Grey, the person that he loved. I mean, we see what happens to Professor X at the end. He carries all of that stuff. So in a way, I think thematically him fighting X-24 in the way that he did, it actually makes a lot of sense. And if we're gonna already talk about cloning and all this stuff that's already in the established X-Men universe, it actually works really, really well. I think all the kids' powers at the end are pretty lame. If I was gonna criticize one thing about it, it's like, is that kid's power really pine straw? That's weird. That's just a weird power set. But other than that, I felt like the kids and all the stuff at the end worked a lot better for me now. In context of like the kids in cages thing, you know, X-Men has always been hyper relevant with the shit that they touch on, and I felt like there's a lot of kind of about immigration and anchor babies, all that kind of stuff that I felt like is kind of pulled right out of the headlines. So it worked. Again, I really love this movie. No, Matt, anchor babies is not racist.
No, I didn't think so. I just didn't know what that meant.
Oh, it's a political thing.
Oh, that's why I have no idea. Got it.
Pastor, after watching this movie for I don't know how many times now, how did you feel watching it again for the first time with Matt, Jenna, and Jen?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, I watched it several times, watched a lot of videos on it, and as I said earlier, I don't know if it was in the intro or not, Old Man Logan, the source material for this story, is my favorite graphic novel of all time. I was fighting tears in this one, I just didn't want to show it in this one. But this movie, going off of what Jeremy said, the ultimate battle for him was the adamantium. In the source material, it's a little different. His death is polar opposite. He doesn't die the exact same way. He does die just like he does in this movie. So that was my biggest thing going into it when it first came out. I was wondering if they were going to do that, if it was going to be like the swan song ending of the Wolverine character. We know in real life that Hugh Jackman was done with it. He wanted to, put the claws up basically, and he didn't want to do it without Charles Xavier being a part of it. In the source material, the X-Men are dead just like they are in this. That's also different, but I liked what the team, it was James Mangold and the other two, I can't remember the other two writers, I liked what they did. It made sense. It did a very good modern take on it. It's not too far into the future, but it was believable for the most part. Like Jeremy said, the kids' powers were kind of weird. I think they were just kind of like afterthoughts, but it didn't take me away from anything. Some of the shots I felt were a little rushed, like when they killed the dude that sounded like Gambit, that had a better accent than the guy from Origins. When they killed him, it looked a little cheesy because the kids all did the same moves, and I kind of saw it, and I heard like the cameraman or the director going, all right, now hold that, and we're done. So it didn't look like it should have, but overall, this is a fantastic movie, and I can tell you guys with confidence that it is the end of his story. If he comes back, it'll be a prequel or it'll be a flashback. He will never have another movie where it's him in the present. So I can lay that to rest for you guys. I promise. And if it is, it will not be Hugh Jackman. It'll be a reboot.
He'll be back.
And Jen, what did you think of Logan?
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. First, I really think that the girl that played Laura was a really good actress. I really enjoyed that. I also liked the dynamic between Laura and Logan. I don't feel like they pushed it too much. They let it develop naturally, which is something that I really picked up on. I also think they did a good job of making Logan look very emotionally and physically just exhausted. That was the first thing that I noticed. And I like the supporting characters. Caliban, I really liked him a lot. And then X-24, he's obviously top notch. I really enjoyed that. And I thought that the ending was really good. It wasn't forced. I felt like it was a very, very good ending, so I enjoyed it a lot.
There was a lot I liked about this. I know a lot of like the special effects stuff. I think I mentioned before when they're across each other on the stairs that it's a full CG face on X-24. Some of the driving sequences we didn't even notice till I mentioned it, but some of those driving sequences were full CG of Logan. Really, really cool. Just from the outside perspective. Film itself is fantastic. I always hate seeing that family get slaughtered in that house. It's really, really tough to watch, and it just reinforces Logan's feelings that the people I care about hurt. Very Spider-Man-esque. The ones I love will always be the ones who suffer, type thing, and it's very true for him in this. And I love seeing him die, as horrible as that is, but it just felt so like Jen said, he was just exhausted, and it's nice to finally see him do his last thing for somebody that he loves, or came to love, and then finally be put to rest. That was great. Matt, a lot of people have been wondering your opinion on this. Heavily requested, people wanting to see it. What did you think of Logan?
Oh boy, guys. First of all, I was like stupid excited to turn to the left and see Jeremy all teared up. Then I looked to the right, Jenna's all teared up. Pastor was like, I teared up. So that was impressive. This one, obviously it felt much different. This is very intentionally different. It was unbelievably dark. I feel like the concept of him fighting with his old self, him fighting with his past, everybody around him is always dying, he always has loss around him. I feel like that has been done enough. So I didn't appreciate that, to be honest, in this. I mean, I've seen it so many times that it's like, I get it. The idea that he was more mortal, I guess, and then dying, and then the extra juice, and honestly, seriously, I've been so desensitized to death, and there is no death, that his death at the end did not strike me. I didn't tear up. I didn't have that feeling. I did like that moment for him that he was like, this is what it feels like. Like, I like that. There was even a Bygone Jim moment. Right or wrong is a brand, and that sticks. Love that. Love that. That can be applied so many different ways. On paper, it makes sense that I would like this one more than the previous, but my feeling towards it is that I like the previous one more. But again, on paper, I like this one more. I don't know. It was done differently, but I
think a lot of it goes with the fact that, like, Holden, Jeremy, and myself, right? We knew what this was when we saw it advertised, when we saw that it was coming out. We knew, especially I did because I read the book, but we all knew when we saw him with the gray, that's it. And whenever he confirmed it in real life, Hugh Jackman confirmed it. I'm done. That's it. We went into it expecting him either to die or to forever be immortalized somehow. So for us, we went into it knowing, like, okay, we've been in the theater for 2.5 hours. It's coming. It's kind of like watching the Titanic, knowing it's going to sink. You have to psych yourself up for the end. Maybe that's a bad example because that's a lot of, mushiness in that one. But anyway, you know what I mean. I think that's why it didn't affect you, is what I'm trying to say. It's not that it wasn't impactful, because, like, this is definitely one of those movies that if you are invested in just him as a character, not even the rest of them, just the fact that the whole X-Men universe was centered around Wolverine, and that's, people hated it and then people loved it. That concept in and of itself. But that's this coming to an end. It's like, and him confirming it, look, man, there's gonna be no chance. Like, I'm not coming back to do this again. That's why it hit the rest of us, I think, a little bit more. Not, like us, like, yeah.
It's a theory. Or it could be that you just don't get it.
That could be it. Yeah, that could be it.
No, I don't think it's that at all. I actually really like the last Wolverine movie as well. I feel like the last one kind of gets pushed off to the side. Do you think it was the darkness that
absolutely
put you off of it?
Yeah, and as I've said before, that I like the dark areas of all the movies we've seen. I love Darth Maul more than anything in Star Wars, and I gravitate toward the darker side. I don't know why, but it was so dark this time, and like that poor family. And it's not the first time. I know, but
back in the sequel.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when old grandma gets shot and so does grandpa in that one of the other 14 X-Men Wolverine movies. But like, it sucked so bad. Like, I audibly was like, ah, why? So yeah, it was really dark.
Also, like, just one more point. Me as a kid, whenever anyone said, what superheroes, what power would you want? I always gravitated to him. Why? Because he was indestructible. He was the tank. He threw himself in front of danger. Nothing happened. Saved a bunch of people without having to lose his own life. And the fact that this is like, what happens when that's all taken away? That's the part that really hits, because they say it several times, you know, hey, you're not the same anymore. You can't just go in there and walk back out unscathed, you know. And we see that time and time again in the X-Men movies, where they're all trying to go in it on a tactical form, and he's just like, dude, just send me in and I'll get the job done, you know. So that being taken away from the equation just makes it that much more impactful and more human, I guess.
I really liked Jeremy's point about him facing X-24 kind of being like who he was in the past, and just how like raw he was, and still knowing like I wouldn't want to fight me back then in my prime as well. I think using X-24 was good. I heard what you said about Sabretooth, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then you even kind of even corrected yourself, or threw in that other opinion of well, I guess it would make sense with him against X-24. For me, I loved this movie. I thought it was really great. It's one that can kind of pull you down emotionally. This is about an 8.5 for me. Jeremy?
Lloyd Holbrook, the Gambit accent, I was so expecting him at some point to say, I'm your Huckleberry. Like, to me, he sounds exactly like Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday in Tombstone. That doesn't have anything to do, though, with my 8.5 out of 10.
Jenna, what about you?
This is why I don't like to go first, because I thought of all of these questions after why didn't they use their powers before the very end? Like, it could have been a different ending.
Which powers?
The kids with all their random powers. Like, why were they running in the woods without like
Good
turning
point.
around and fighting back? Like, they had all these great powers.
Because it sells, Jenna. Go ahead.
Yeah, that doesn't go along with the plot of the movie, I guess. I give it an 8.5. I agree with Jeremy.
That's 3 8.5s. Pastor, what about you?
Honestly, when I first saw the movie, I would have given it a 10 all day long. Didn't know that James Mangold did the Wolverine, had a lot of problems with that one. I guess it kind of jaded me a little bit, because seeing this one, Logan this time, I saw more that I didn't really care for, that I kind of just like forced myself to like the first time I watched it, because I was like, it's my favorite book being brought into I'm gonna love it immediately. Still very high. I couldn't give it anything below like an 8.5 or a 9, but it's definitely not a 10 anymore, because I just see stuff he did that I didn't really like. And I guess the theater, when I watched this the last time, I watched it with someone else, and it was kind of on the background. I wasn't watching it like now. The theater was the last time I saw it and paid attention to it. I watched the noir version that came with this DVD to do a video on it. So that to me is a different movie. Like, I could probably give that a 10, because the CG and all that looks a lot different when you watch it in black and white as opposed to in color. But for this one, I'd give it an 8.5 to a 9.
Jen, what would you give Logan?
I think I would have to give it a 9. I really, really enjoyed it. I agree with Matt that it was very, very heavy. There was a lot of difficult scenes to watch. However, with him dying in this movie, I think that it warranted some really heavy emotional moments. And you got a lot of those throughout the movie. So I definitely enjoyed it. I give it a 9.
Last but not least, Matt, what would you rate Logan?
On paper, I should like this one more than I did the previous one. The feelings I had towards this, I did not like this more than the previous one. It's a 5. I was gonna be fair and give it a 6.5, because again, on paper, bygone gem moment, but there was just, I didn't have that many notes. I didn't have that many points. I nodded off at one point.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, you heard it here. Matt gave Logan a 5. I think it's so different than like everyone else's ratings and stuff. I'm glad you gave it a chance. You know, that's all we could ask. And this is what happens when you make us watch a movie we all love. So if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment down below, letting us know what you think of all of our opinions and Matt's opinions and ratings. Looking forward to reading those. Consider subscribing if you want to see more fun content like this. Consider joining me on Patreon to get early access to select videos like this one. Also help support me as an independent content creator. Make sure to subscribe to everybody's channels here. The links will be in the description below. As always, we appreciate you watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care.